I'm here at St. Michael Catholic Secondary School to interview professional hockey player Lucan Van Pelt and religion teacher Mr. O'Connor. So Lucan, who do you play hockey for?
I played hockey for Mitchell.
Have you got any injuries?
Yes, I've pulled my hamstring, groin, and I broke the bone right here.
What do you think the most common injury in hockey is?
I'd say lower body injury. I think below your waist probably.
Why do you think this is the most common injury?
Just because you're using it the most, and every game you're using that part of your body.
What do you think needs to be done to stop this injury from happening?
I could say probably more preparation for the games, stretching, and all that kind of stuff.
Alright, and what makes hockey so violent?
I'd say the fighting portion and getting big hits.
Do you think in the future there will be changes?
I think fighting will be gone in the next 5 years, but still will be a little violent.
Alright, thanks.
No problem.
So, Mr. O'Connor, who did you play football for?
I played 9 years of football. I played in high school, and I played in university. We actually had what was called an interfac league, where the colleges played each other. So I played for St. Mike's College. We played for a cup that was the oldest football trophy in North America, the Mulock Cup, but that tackle football league doesn't exist anymore and ended in about 1993.
Did you get any injuries in your career?
No major injuries, thankfully. I had a separated shoulder and a hip pointer. I didn't really miss a lot of action because of those. I missed a little bit, but not too much. I do have bad arthritis in both my knees, and I suspect that that's football related. I don't know that for a fact, though.
What do you think the most common injury in football is?
There's a ton of injuries in football, so I don't know the answer to the question, but I know that concussions is a huge injury and a huge issue, and there's some real problems with football. I love the game, but people, especially in the NFL, they're now recognizing that some of the NFL players are not living that long. They're not living full lives, so there's some real issues there with the contact.
Why do you think these concussions are the most common injury?
Lots of factors. I think the athletes are bigger, the athletes are stronger, and the impact is just more powerful. That's a big thing. I think another real problem in football is that the equipment contributes to the injuries. I mean, on the one hand, the equipment protects you, and I get that, but it also creates this fearlessness, and so a lot of times the problem in football is they'll lead with their head. Sometimes the injured player in football isn't the person being hit, but it's the person doing the hitting. So that's one contributor for sure.
What do you think needs to be done to stop the concussions from happening?
Great question. I don't have all the answers to that. My dad used to think that they needed to scale back with the equipment and have softer helmets, which aren't very visually appealing, but he believed that you could protect people in the inside while still doing something on the outside that kind of cushioned the blow. So I don't know if that's the case. I know one thing they're trying to do is they're enforcing hits to the head a lot more stringently than they used to, and they're trying to educate through the rules and through the enforcement of the rules. They're educating the athletes and the players to watch out for each other's head. They do the same thing in hockey with the hits from behind. Whether it's effective enough, I don't know.
What do you think makes football so violent?
It's a violent game for sure. It's funny, all the peace and social justice I'm involved in now, and then I sit down on Sundays and I watch this incredibly violent game. It's funny, there's no fighting in football. Like, football is very much played from whistle to whistle, and there's not a lot of stuff that goes on between the whistles. You see a lot more in other sports. It's a physical contact game, and so the the goal of the game requires you to win physical battles along the line of scrimmage, and it's the violence is kind of inbred in the game. I like the game very much. I learned a lot playing football, and I learned a lot of really good values. We don't go and try to injure other people, but we try to hit. And so I guess it's kind of like violence in the arena, so to speak.
Do you think in the future there will be changes?
As a fan of football, I worry about football. I love the game, but I'm kind of glad my kids don't play, to be really honest. The athletes are bigger, the athletes are stronger, the impact is getting so powerful, and there's now lawsuits, right? People who were badly hurt are now coming back and filing big lawsuits against the leagues, and I'm afraid somebody's going to die in the course of play. There have been deaths, not a lot, and not in a long time. But I'm not sure if, as the athletes continue to get bigger, continue to get stronger, and continue to get faster, I'm not sure that human beings can sustain that degree of impact. So I'm nervous about it because I like the game, but they have to constantly reevaluate their safety, and we're better medically now. Like when I played, I might have had a concussion for all I know. We just never diagnosed them. So that's a plus, and hopefully they can make the changes to keep the game safe. I'm okay with a little violence in the arena. I don't mind that. But we can't be having people dying at a younger age. That's not good, and that has to be addressed, or I'm not sure that it'll survive. We'll have to see.
All right, thanks a lot for your time.
You're welcome, my friend. Thank you.